Hello.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming back.
You rudely interrupted me as per usual.
What were you doing? Are you nervous?
No, why?
Are you nervous to talk today?
No, why?
Oh, because we're going to do speeches. Did you like the intro? Roll the intro, Brian.
Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and welcome
The Unfiltered Bride Podcast. Tips from the top table and beyond.
so you know it's going to be juicy.
This podcast has been sponsored by the wonderful Crafty Lab. Unless you've been living under a rock, you'll know that I got married last year, and these guys created one of my favourite elements of the wedding.
Oh, I love them. These were your newspapers, weren't they?
Yes, so we used them as a little guide to the day for guests. So we included order of the day, crossword, bridal party names, our love story, QR codes for image sharing, Spotify playlist link, and believe it or not, more things. It was so personal, and you know that I love a bit of personality in a wedding.
They're professionally designed for each couple, so it's not just a template that someone else will have. Each couple gets a truly unique newspaper. They don't print until you're 100% happy to, so even for you type A brides, you'll love them.
They have amazing customer service. They really cared and went above and beyond to make sure that we were happy, which we were. A small business with a big heart.
You can have them anywhere and everywhere, and you even had them in the taxis on the way to the ceremony and dotted around the venue. But I've also seen them on ceremony chairs, wedding breakfast tables, and in accommodation. And at 89p a copy, why wouldn't you?
So head to thecraftylab.co.uk to secure your spot in their order book. But be quick, there are limited slots for each month, and once they're gone, they're gone.
So get them booked. You definitely don't want to miss out. If you're wanting to find out more, we've popped their details in the description below. Speeches.
Yeah. What should we start with? Should we start with who should do speeches?
Yeah.
Go on then. So I said go on then, and then I start. Traditional.
As always.
The Georgie show.
Everyone, welcome to the Georgie show.
Hello.
Someone actually said that to me.
What?
It's like the Georgie show.
You don't talk enough.
I'm not allowed to.
No, but you can, but you're not answering
Also, Brian edits it, so it just makes it you.
No, you also fell asleep during the timings one.
Because you were boring.
If it's not pretty or styling, Beth doesn't care.
I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Let's go.
Right. What I was going to say is the traditional speeches are in this order, and it's these people: father of the bride, groom, best man.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it should just be that?
No. I love it when the bride does a speech.
Yeah, very true. There's no female voice otherwise.
Us girls have got to be heard loud
Yeah.
and bloody clear.
And I do think women are good at speeches.
Yeah, they're more like meaningful, they're more structured, they're a little bit funny.
Yeah.
Life's good.
Okay, so give me at your wedding, when the day will come, who would do speeches?
Jack, the groom.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would do one. His best man obviously would do one.
Yeah.
Which is going to be his brother, I think. I don't know. It's a difficult one.
Would there be... So the thing is that the father of the bride represents the bride. The best man represents the groom, and the groom is mainly there to do the thank yous. So who would be representing you then?
Not sure.
Okay. This don't feel thingy to be talking about it, because a lot of people have this issue where they're like, maybe not that close to my dad, or my dad's not around anymore, or he's not good at speeches.
Yeah, and I, to be fair, I haven't actually thought that much into it, but when you've asked me now, I don't know. Like, my mum would probably want to do a speech, but she'd probably ramble on about something. Jack's mum would probably want to do a speech, so I don't know. Maybe the mums. I'd get the mums to do a speech.
So 2 mums.
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah.
Best man.
Mm-hmm.
Are you speaking?
Oh
for God's sake.
I don't think so.
No. Would you be nervous?
Yeah.
Then don't do it.
I wouldn't be nervous.
I just said, are you going to be nervous?
Fuck it, I'm not doing it.
I think everybody is nervous about a speech anyway.
But I would want to do it to thank the suppliers that I've worked with on the wedding day, essentially, you know, like, because they come from me.
Yeah. That was my main reason for doing a speech. Brian couldn't stand and say thank you to
Brian said thank you to me because I'm his side chick.
Yeah. Thank you, Beth, for
reminding me that Brian loves me more. Okay, great.
So I don't know if I've got my speech. I'll try and find it somewhere. But my speech was mainly... So I went first. And the reason I went first is because I didn't want to then mess up the traditional father of bride, groom, best man. So I didn't want to look like I was taking too much attention away from that. So I think going first or last, but I think if you go last, are you going to ruin the bit of the best man?
Yeah.
Like, I personally feel like the best man should always go last.
Yeah, agree.
So, because they get it started. So I went first, and I did... Thank you to suppliers. Obviously, it's a little bit different for us because we've obviously got a lot more involvement in it.
You also left me till last.
Yeah.
I was like, is she going to say that to me? Is she going to say that you and me?
Yeah, I think I didn't. I think I went in an order of like where they are in the day. And I know you start. Hold on. Hold the fuck on.
Me?
Hold on.
Mate, are you joking? I was a fucking welcome sign, hun.
Oh, yeah, okay, fair. It's because I pictured the wedding breakfast room because actually the venue was the last one, I think.
No, you just said save best or last. Like
That's
this.
okay. Save
Let's
the best
just be honest.
Okay.
Let's just be real.
Stop singing in every
You ain't
episode.
got no cash. You ain't got no dollar.
I don't even know what songs you're singing.
Because you're not cool.
I am cool.
I did a site visit with a client last week and I was like, she said something. I was like, yeah, but remember, I'm cooler than
You're
Georgie.
not cooler.
I am.
You're definitely not. You think you're cooler, but you're not actually cooler.
Name something then. That's,
What do you mean? What? Name what? Name
Go
what?
on.
Name
Go on.
What?
Go on, Billy Big
What,
Butts.
what do you mean a topic?
Biggly
What's
big.
the coolest thing you've ever done in your life?
Started etiquette events.
No. That's not cool. That's not cool.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, don't touch my phone.
That is pretty...
No. Not I started a business.
Sorry, I just showed Damram from
But
the
it's not-
function band
it's not
who said it's cool here.
No. That's not a cool thing to do. I'll tell you my coolest thing I've ever done. Do you want to hear it?
Wrote a letter or something.
What? Actually, what happened was...
Oh, you skydive. Oh, well. Great.
That's not cool either. The coolest thing I've ever done, and I really, by the miracle and madness of the internet, I'm hoping that somebody who was there knows this, like saw this. So Brian used to do flaring, so we used to practice flipping the bottles and catching it on your hand. And
No way. Really?
Hold the fuck on.
I don't think you've told anyone that.
What? Flaring? You do, if I said flaring to you, there's not a fucking chance in hell you would have known what that was.
Yes.
No, bullshit.
I'm not... Mate,
You're not cool.
How
You're
many,
not cool.
How many years have I known you? That
You're
word
not
has come
cool.
up every single time we meet.
Anyway, I was on...
We've just been filming, so I've got attitude for Georgie. We haven't argued.
Oh my God, I literally can't even talk.
The last episode we didn't argue in, so I'm ready. I'm ready to rumble.
Okay. I was on somebody's hen do and I was trying to practice my bottle flip and nothing was working. It was really hard. And it's really hard to do. If anybody's at home with a water bottle, try and flick it from your hand and catch it on the back of your hand. So we were out and I was literally been practicing all the way around. And then we went around a corner to get into a taxi. And I literally, so they only just saw me walk up to this taxi, flip a bottle, catch it on my hand and then get in the taxi and drive off.
That's not cool.
It was cool. Because they must have been watching going, what the fuck?
No, that's not cool.
Yours can't be make a business.
All right, Saturday night takeaway, mate. I
No.
was on Saturday night takeaway. That's cool.
You weren't on it. You were in it. You styled it.
I was there whilst they
No.
filmed it. Dinlow.
No.
Dinlow.
I hate that word. You always
Proper
use the word
Gloucester,
Dinlow.
isn't it? Gloucester.
I thought you were from Cheltenham.
I am from Cheltenham.
Anyway. Speeches. So yes, ours would be slightly different. I had a lot more thank yous to suppliers. Do you think?
What else did you talk about?
I did. What did I do?
Tell me this. What is the point in a bride doing a speech?
So
Not that I'm against it.
No.
I'm for it, but I'm just like, if someone said to you, why should I do a speech? Should I not do a speech?
So the main reason I did a speech is because I planned that wedding, basically.
Sorry,
No,
Brian.
you did bits, but he can't
Bits.
stand there.
You ordered the alcohol.
He did do the alcohol, but I planned that wedding. I booked the suppliers. I have family there. I have people and friends that have helped me. I want to say thank you.
Okay.
Why
Yeah,
should
but
it? No,
you're
that's my
allowed to,
answer.
hun. You do you, honey boo boo.
Honey boo boo. I think I've got my speech.
What's the substance? What's the ingredients for a bride speech?
Okay. Let me tell you.
Appreciation to the partner is a big one.
That was my main reason for wanting to do it because I felt like I had nice things to actually say about Brian. Oh, I found it. It starts with, did anyone really think I was going to sit here and not say anything? So what have I done? So I've then done...
Come on, let's read some of it.
Well, firstly, I'd just like you all to lower your expectations of this speech. Sitting alone at my dressing room table every morning is a lot easier than standing in front of you all today. I know it's not traditional, but I don't care. So I'll be covering a chunk of the thank yous today. So here we go. So I've then done a thank you to Brian's family, my mum and dad. That bit's really cute. I did to my mum and dad, if I could wish for anything for Isla, is that her childhood was as wonderful as mine. Every day I strive to make the choices that you both made to give me the best start in life, and I hope that Brian and I are doing you proud raising your granddaughter.
Oh, get the tissues out. I do remember like laughing, crying, and like your whole speech gave me like the whole emotions.
Good, thanks. So then I've done my mum and her partner. So my mum and dad aren't together. So I did my mum and her partner. I did my dad and his partner. And then I did all of my suppliers. And then I did Isla. No, I didn't. I did bridesmaids. Then Isla. I put Isla. Oh dear, this one's going to get me.
Oh.
You are the exclamation mark on the happiest sentence I will ever write.
I love that line. Where did you get that from?
I saw it literally when she was born, and I was like, this is, because I do put exclamation marks on everything. So I thought that's cute. And then I did Brian.
Then I did Brian.
But
How did Brian start?
As I'm sure you heard, I first met Brian when he was working behind a bar at TGI Fridays. Now, I didn't believe in love at first sight, but when I saw this exotic tanned muscly man in a red and white striped t-shirt, it was pure love. The diamond earring nearly put me off though, but I'm glad I powered through.
We all love a diamond earring. Like, the diamond earring was the in thing.
Yeah.
I remember I printed off a photo of him with his diamond earring on for your handy.
Yes, you did.
And he was
gross.
doing this pose.
Yeah, he did that. Do you know what? He did that in every photo.
So for those who are not watching, it's the thumb finger on the chin. Like, it's like a tick, point up, pout. Like, kids these days, what do they do now? They do
they do peace a lot.
No, they do like...
Cover your mouth.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
I remember trying to show people who this new guy that I liked was, and every fucking photo, the diamond earrings sparkling and the thumb finger Nike tick on his chin was gross. And I was like, no, he's better in real life.
I'm surprised he didn't have an eyebrow piercing. Did he have an eyebrow piercing?
No.
I could imagine him with one.
I could actually imagine him with one.
It was the in thing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he didn't have that. I can't find the rest of my work, but I basically then roasted him.
Yeah.
For a bit.
But that's your relationship.
That is our relationship.
That is.
If I wasn't mean, it would have been weird. So I think I did.
I can't be too nice to you, even on our wedding day.
I'll try and find it and I'll try and put it on the stories or something. But I'm sure I did something like, here's all the things that have gone wrong. So he got bit by a baby tiger when we were on holiday once. He's been scammed at our own front door. Like, all of this sort of stuff. And then
that was pretty recent
that was so recent.
When you did when it was your wedding, wasn't it? So you must have just slipped that one in.
I did slip it in. And then I went on to look at all the wonderful things we've done, and we talked about Isla and raising her and how wonderful he is, and it was pretty cute. It said all the stuff that I want to say to him, but there'll never be an opportunity where I can just say it to him nicely, because I'm not just sit around at the table.
Did Brian cry?
Did you cry, Brian? I think I got you on the last bit.
I think he did cry.
I don't think I cried.
Liar.
There was a bit that I remember writing thinking, this will get him.
I think there's a photo of him with him, like, wiping his eye.
Yeah. It was basically about him not being alone. I think that was the main part of it. It was
I nearly cried at all the speeches, to be fair.
Yeah. They all had a little bit of something.
But I feel like it was nice because everything you spoke about reflected kind of your lives, but we all knew all these kind of things in your life, and how your work is and what you do for Isla, and it was kind of like
you can't do too many inside jokes. Like, it's funny to tell people stories, like nobody would have known they'd been bit by a baby tiger, so like you can throw stuff in, but like we kind of said before when we talked about it, you don't want to go down this rabbit hole story.
It's relatable. Like, you want to pull people in on the emotion and feel relevant, and that was the beauty of having such an intimate wedding.
Yes.
That everybody in that room knew exactly kind of what you guys were talking about.
Yeah. So I'm so glad I did a speech. Mm-hmm. Like I had thought about it before, and I didn't want it to be like, oh, she's talking, because I always talk. But I'm so glad I did it, because there was stuff I wanted to say. Yeah. So I did that.
Okay, so then the groom speech or your partner's speech.
So next up then would be father of the bride.
Yeah.
So here's my key tips for a father of the bride speech.
Let's go.
You have to talk about the bride, but like childhood.
I loved your dad's speech.
My dad.
Your dad's like Joker.
My dad is known for like bad jokes, and I literally said to him, I was like, don't make any shit jokes, because and the problem is, and I feel bad for the people doing speeches for our wedding, because I've heard them all. Like I hear literally a speech a week, 3 speeches a week, that I bet my dad was probably terrified. So he leaned into the fact that he does shit jokes, and every paragraph then ended with a really bad shit joke that was then funny. Mm-hmm. What did he do? Did you hear about the 2 antennas? Mm-hmm. The 2 antennas that got married. The ceremony was bad, but the reception was brilliant. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, he was funny.
It was funny. So I think father of the bride needs to talk about the bride from childhood, though. Like, give a little bit about what she was like, because most of the people there won't really know childhood stuff, things like that. You then have to talk about when you first met the groom. So in this instance, we're talking about bride and groom. how you first met the partner. So maybe first impressions, stuff like that. You then have to give marital advice. Mm-hmm. This is the tricky one because sometimes you're not with a partner anymore. But I think trying to find something that is proper good advice, like from the heart, nice stuff. And then end on a toast. The father of the bride shouldn't be doing thank yous. Just not needed. Maybe a thank you for coming, something like that, especially if they're maybe hosting in terms of it's on their property, whatever. Mm-hmm. But typically, no thank yous. Anything you need to add to father of the brides?
Welcoming the partner in the family.
Yes, that's cute. I like it when
he did speak a little bit about Brian, didn't he?
Yeah, he talked about Brian. I can't remember what he said about Brian. We've got it at home. I opened it the other day and I was like, oh. And then the shit jokes are like highlighted so that he remembers to say
love
them.
him. Oh, I love him. He's so, like literally like you as a dad. Like if I could put you as a dad, like you, that is you.
He is, and it was funny. And everybody, this is the thing that people forget is that when you're doing speeches, genuinely everybody wants it to be good for you. Mm-hmm. That nobody's going to make it awkward. They're going to laugh at jokes that maybe wouldn't necessarily get a laugh in normal life. Everybody's on your side. Mm-hmm. So like, go for it.
Okay, question. So if you've got a dad and a stepdad, what do you do there? Have you seen it? Like, what have you experienced?
I think it's going to depend on relationship, isn't it? Because if your stepdad has been there since age 3, then whoever's got more to talk about you. But I have no issue with them doing both. Yeah. Sometimes people get one to walk down the aisle, one to do the speech.
Nice. You
can do both.
Yeah, we had someone DM us and she was like, I'm really struggling. Like, I've got a really good relationship with my stepdad and my dad. I want them both to walk me down the aisle. Or one, does that look weird? Should one drop me halfway and then the other pick me up? Or like, she's just like, I just don't want to upset either of them. But I think if you've got a really good relationship with both of them,
you should be able to have that conversation.
They should know that that's something along that lines is going to happen.
Yeah. It's so difficult, isn't it? Because if you're the only daughter of the dad and they've pictured that forever, and then you go and ask the stepdad, but then if you don't have a good relationship with them, the thing is, if you're listening to this and you've got a dad and a stepdad, you probably already know in your head
what you really want to do.
Yeah. Even if it means neither. Mm-hmm. Even if it means mum. I've seen many mums do speeches on behalf of the father of the bride. Or brothers. Yeah. Brothers do it. I just think as long as there's somebody who's representing the bride, you're fine. Then we've got groom. Go on, what do you think's in a good groom speech?
Groom speech. So the groom's speech, I've got clients who don't want to do it.
Grooms?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so difficult, isn't it?
Because they're both really like, they're nervous and I'm like, cool, no worries, you do you. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Like if it's gonna, and the partner is really happy to say, look, don't stress yourself out over it, you're gonna be crap. Like,
yeah, that is true. If it's gonna suck, don't do it.
I also don't know how I feel about if it's going to be crap and people just go, thank you for coming, blah, blah, thanks, bridesmaid, look beautiful, da, da, da. Like, it's kind of like, well, I don't know, like, get your best man to do it, I think.
Yeah.
But the bride, so do you think the bride or the partner to the groom should help with the speech? Because you know us, type A brides, like to be in control of everything.
I think you've really got to think about yourself as a couple. If Brian did a speech and I stood up with him, we'd never hear the end of it. Because it would look like I was overpowering it, writing it all for him, stuff like that. Whereas I think there's other couples that people would assume that they're not the outgoing type, that they will struggle with a speech. And actually then it doesn't feel as... If you're a type A bride, you know that you shouldn't be up with them.
No, I mean just like help them write it.
No. Yeah, no. I gave Brian...
a guideline.
I gave Brian so my list said introduction, thank yous, and I put who he had to say thank you to. Bare minimum.
So he didn't want to thank me.
Yeah, no, I actually didn't put yours in. But I
told you, side chick.
I put bridesmaids, groomsmen, his family, because I didn't want to double up too much.
And Beth. I think Isla put and Beth at the bottom.
Probably. And I kind of put it in the right order for him as well, because you don't want to be... Sometimes I hear grooms start with a bride and then they end up finishing on like a flower girl, which is nice, but that's not like you're building up.
I don't think you need to like name everyone. It's like the bridesmaids, thank you so much for your help, and like planning the most amazing hen do. I think Brian was like,
even that, like you don't have to. Did you?
I think he said planning all 4 of Georgie's hen do's, and
I think you need the person or the group of people a quick little nod to why, and then move on.
Yep.
Otherwise you're sat there and nobody wants to hear you talking about bridesmaids for 20 minutes. Like this is the thing. You need to say to people, you need to do a quick thing and just carry on, because otherwise you sit there like you're doing right now, yawning, getting bored.
Don't put that in. No, it's been a long day.
So I would have, for example, bridesmaids, blah, blah, blah. Groomsmen, blah, blah, blah. Best man, blah, blah, blah. So how do you feel about suppliers?
Depends if they were the ones like...
But should they be thanked in speeches?
No, not if they're not involved. Like if you've got a friend making a cake, then I probably would say...
Okay, so you wouldn't thank the photographers and
no,
people for coming and
because
making it look
if
good?
they're not there, like we're not there.
So I get probably 50-50, because I'll be stood in the room during the speeches, and then they'll say...
I think if your supplier's going to be there, then yeah, it's nice too, but it's not essential.
I agree. I think it kind of depends on the relationship that you've maybe had with them. I've had somebody before say, thanks to Georgie for all these stupid TikToks that we've had to listen to every morning. Like something, again, funny that's not... please don't do a big long thing about suppliers. It's nobody knows who we are. If you wanted to say thank you to suppliers, it's lovely.
But give us
again,
a card.
But a little quick one in the speech if you want to do it.
Give us
Thank
a card
you so
and a
much.
gift. That'll be nice.
Yeah, nice little
Some
spa day.
chockies.
Always a... okay, so suppliers, not necessary. Maybe it depends on the relationship you've had with them. If they've helped you a lot, maybe more likely to. You then want to do... So Brian then had Isla. Talked about Isla. That got me, obviously. And then it's the bride. You have got to end on the bride.
Okay, so give me like an ingredients list for the bride.
The problem is as well, you don't want to be repeating too much stuff. Like, because you've said it in the ceremony. Somebody else has said it. They've talked about how you've met. Like, I wouldn't go into too much detail about that bit again, just so that you're not literally talking about the same thing over and over again. But I would do a kind of about meeting, how you felt, maybe like feelings
when you fell in love with her.
you fell in love, how you knew they were the one.
Some bad habits.
I definitely think a bit of roasting is fine. I think it's a bit weird if it's just
I love you
so much and you do this and blah blah blah. But I think this is genuinely the opportunity to say to somebody why you really love them. Like, this is the time to be wet. If you're gonna be wet, this is it. And often, if you're having a videographer, that's the bit that's getting overlaid from the video. Yeah. So just write it nicely. What we did, and we did the same thing with our vows, is send it to a neutral person. I think it was somebody that worked for us at the time. And was like, can you just read these and just check that they're the same kind of thing? You don't want them to be exactly the same, and you don't want them to be so far away from you. Did you see on TikTok that man that talked about, he said, all I need, this is the vows, by the way, this isn't even a speech. All I need is my belly to be full and my balls to be empty. Isn't that disgusting?
That's vile.
And then he went on.
What a fucking cretin.
It was disgusting. It went, did you not see it? It went all over the internet.
No, cretin.
And then people like stitched it with them being like, oh, as a cousin of the thing. And then just being like, ugh. Like, what? But he went on and on and on about sex during his vows.
No, I'm not that one. There's people like I know that are like really open about sex and stuff in front of their parents and things like that. Like, no, thank you.
I don't mind the odd joke.
Yes.
I don't mind a little. We'll find the clip, but I don't mind the little nod.
Yeah, but
I don't talk about it properly. It's the groom's speech is not.
It's
supposed
not
to be
about
funny.
that.
It's not supposed to be funny
disgusting.
either.
Sorry, that just annoys me.
Yeah, that's.
But you've ruined
gross.
a really magical moment.
I agree. It should be the time. The very end of that speech should be so lovely that when you're writing it, you're like, oh,
okay,
this is too much.
So then we got Best Man, which we touched on a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
Do you want to recap quickly?
Little recap. Best Man. No thank yous. Don't need to do that. Strong introduction, as in don't start giving us who you are and all that. We know who you are. Bit about the groom. Funny stories.
Bit about the bride. And then end on love. End on something nice, because it is the last thing that's going to be said before the next part of the day. So just to recap all of them, father of the bride is talking about the bride. Groom is thank yous and bride. Best man is groom, end on love. Okay, so I've got some quick fire things.
Go on.
Projectors in speeches, yes or no?
Just no, please. Unless it's epic.
It's just fucking nice. It's like literally DIY school vibes.
And it's also
logistically
a bitch, and it never works properly.
And it's never dark enough.
No, just honestly, please don't. It's not worth. Should I tell you what I've seen that's better than that? Putting envelopes on a chair. Don't put them on the table, because then when they take their photos, they wonder what those white envelopes are on the table. I've had to remove them before for people to take photos. So put them on a chair, or get some of the groomsmen to go and hand them out during the speech. That's far better than whipping out a projector.
I like an envelope.
Yeah, love an envelope. And then they open it and then they're all like, whoa,
yeah.
Oh my God. I've got another story to tell you. I can't tell you who told me because I'm not really allowed to tell the
Fraud.
story. But fuck it, I'm going to tell the story anyway. So there was a wedding, and they did the wedding. Bride and groom got married. Lovely ceremony. Drink reception. Sat down for wedding breakfast. Had their food. Speeches after food. Father of the bride does his thing. Groom stands up and says his bit, and then goes, just before I properly get started, there's some envelopes coming around now. If you could all open them up. Yeah, those are pictures of the bride fucking the best man. So I'll be leaving now. Dropped the microphone, and him and all his family knew about it and left, because they wanted the bride to have paid for the food, have it properly fuck her
so the bride
over.
paid for everything.
The bride's family paid for everything.
Fuck. Karma's a bitch.
Karma is a bit. The best man as well.
I can't believe that.
No.
Nah. Why the fuck did she get married?
This is what confuses me. If
What's
you want to be cheating,
point?
wait till you're married to start the cheating.
It's that unknown, isn't it? It's like the sneaking around. Fuck, I can't. I don't have enough time to lead two lives. I forget something.
Oh, honestly, I couldn't think of anything worse right now. Maybe when I'm older. Maybe when I've got a bit more time.
I can't even be asked to shave my legs for one man, let alone two.
Yeah, but if you've already shaved them, you want to get them.
I'm too tired for this life. I'm too tired for one.
Too tired. So yeah, I'm pro envelopes when they don't have pictures of the bride sleeping with the best man.
Fuck. What a bitch.
I know.
Quick fire. Another quick fire.
Mm-hmm.
Microphones for speeches.
That's a really good question.
That's not quick.
Okay, that is a really good question, because if they work, microphones.
On a percentage, how many microphones don't work?
40% of the time.
It's high, isn't it?
It's so high, and the venue. It's not like I did it the other day at a venue that uses microphones all the time, every day, but it just cut off. And then, do you know who looks like an idiot?
You.
Me. And I'm like, I don't own this PA. I don't own the system. I'm trying to work it. And then they stop, and I'm like, just keep fucking talking. Like, if anything happens with microphones, put them down and carry on talking. Like,
you've got microphones are two people hello.
Yes.
Welcome to the.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you.
That's not even far. Hi, I'm David.
Probably saw about 100 chins then.
Yeah. If you can do it without a microphone, but again, here's the flip side issue. If nobody can hear your speech, it's not worth doing it.
I do microphones are good, but it's just
you got to nail them.
I
would speak to, when you go and do a show round for a venue, I would say to them, pass me a microphone, please. Yeah. Can I try it? If you're in a venue that's like one room and you're pretty confident, because if you're gonna stand there, don't forget that you're holding your speech and you've got pages.
Oh yeah, there's nothing.
So you
I think you need cue cards. Cue cards are.
But however it is, or the speech card things that I made, you need something. But if you're turning a page, you've got to hold a microphone as well. You then start going. So she was the most beautiful, and then he was, and it's like, you've got to either practice it, test the microphone, but stuff happens. Like batteries go out. There's nothing worse in this world than the static noise.
Oh yeah, that's annoying.
When someone's got a phone near it, or it could be anything. So if you've got a venue that really does nail it,
great,
you can do it.
I'd just test it out
a million times.
Okay, speeches. So not from top table.
What if they're not sat on the top table?
Yeah.
So I always send people up to the same spot. So let's assume it's the groom. Will do his speech at the top table. I would get father of the bride to come and stand to the left of the table, and same put whoever's coming up to do him. You don't want to be stood in the middle of everybody. It's weird. Nobody knows where to look, and also the videographer and stuff and photographer can't get your reactions and that person.
Okay. Question: if you have a top table in the middle of a room,
I have done that, and it's kind of a couple on couple thing, because I spoke to one couple to say, do you want to come down to the front by the bar? And they were like, no, but you have to then keep turning around to see everybody. So I personally think it's better to go and stand at a direct point where everybody's facing that same way, so that it's not too twisty neck.
How long speeches?
If you do 3 speeches,
quick fire.
Okay, if it's 3 speeches, I'm allocating you 30 minutes, and that includes clapping, sitting, kissing, all of that jazz. So 7 minutes.
Okay.
But when you practice it at home, it's not going to be 7 minutes because people aren't reacting. So 5, when you read continuously, it should be 5 minutes long. Speech cards.
Yep.
If you come up on your phone to read a speech, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Speech games.
Yeah, I think they're better when they're kind of just at the table.
Yep.
And if people want to do them, they can. If they don't have to do them, they don't have to. Please don't forget, everybody, that you need to toast at the end of a speech. So you will do your final thing and it will say, so please raise a glass to Beth and Jack.
Ah, the imaginary wedding.
The imaginary wedding.
God, this is going to be airing after I've moved in my house. You never know, I might be
could
engaged.
Be happening. So it could
probably won't be.
Remember that day you got engaged at the hotel? It was the hotel? The house.
It's
it was
not
amazing.
happening.
So here's to Beth and Jack. Right. If you're a guest at a wedding, don't forget that you have to cheers first, put your glass down, and then clap. Don't forget the clap. Everyone, and sometimes I'll start the clap because I'm like, what? No, the next person will stand up and start talking, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, there's an awkward moment there that needs to be filled. So don't forget the very last thing you should be doing is to the happy couple.
Cool.
And then stop. Everyone will drink.
Yay.
Okay, so what about where speeches are in the day?
Wedding breakfast. That's what you said.
Before, after, in between?
Before, as long as you've had canapes.
Good girl. She knows.
Don't bother. Can't be asked. I don't like when people split it. You need to be sat and concentrated. I hate when people do some before, some there, some too messy for me. The microphone's out once. Get it done. Bob's your uncle.
Is he doing a speech?
Yeah, maybe.
I often say to people to split them up if there's more than 4 speeches.
Yeah, but I don't.
Before and after, though.
But do you think more than 4 speeches is way too many?
Yeah, but it depends on the people. Like, I personally
do a
love
reading.
Speeches.
Do a reading.
No, because... No,
I'm sorry. People are bored after 4.
Right.
Done.
Yeah. So you don't do them all at the same time. So I would do, say you're going to have 6 speeches. It happens. 3 at the start, 3 at the end.
Too long.
Yeah,
too
but
long.
Who are you having to speak?
Pass.
Right. If there's 2 best men, which often happens.
Do it together.
Yeah, but it's longer.
Also, I also think have fucking one best man. Pick one.
Men cannot pick one best man.
I know. It's a thing, isn't it?
It's a massive thing. I got 7 best men.
Literally, grow up. Make them ushers. I don't care.
Make them what? Make them ushers. Make them ushers.
Make them ushers, marker.
Yeah, it is really a thing. It's always 2 best men. So they normally do a speech together. So let's.
It's not normally 2 best men. So if you've got 2 best men, grow up.
All my grooms need to grow up then because it's always 2.
Why?
I don't know because they just got.
They always do like a mate and a family member.
Brother and a mate.
Grow up. Get some. Actually, I'm not gonna say that.
Get some balls. So 2 best men, bride, father of the bride, groom, maid of honor. 6. So 3 at the start, 3 at the end. That's my thoughts.
Maid of honor.
Yeah, it's happening more. I know.
All for the gals.
Yeah, and that is the thing. Girls want to talk, and I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
But no more than 4 at the same time. The other thing you can do sometimes is a lot of people want to go traditional and have speeches after still. So that is definitely a doable thing.
You could do it in like a little cocktail vibe lounge.
So I've done them before when people have stood around outside, either before or after.
I love this idea of like little like dessert station.
Yeah.
Grab yourself a little like bowl food dessert stuff.
Yeah.
Watch the speeches.
But can you react the same? You can't have a drink and a bowl food. Like these are the sort of questions. It just depends on what style you want.
Have alcohol in the dessert.
I can't think of one. Like a limoncello, lemon meringue.
Baileys, cream.
I hate Baileys.
I love
hate
Baileys.
One of the first things Brian made me was a Baileys cheesecake, and I was like,
oh, I love Baileys because it's like it feels like chocolate after dinner, like a milkshake.
No. I mean, you can if you want. I have
thanks for letting me have a Baileys. Jesus Christ.
I've done speeches where they stand on the dance floor. And everybody stood around the dance floor, and then the person stands in the middle of the dance floor.
Not sure how I feel about that.
But then you go straight into first dance or cake cutting, so it's not too bitty. You could do them in the drinks reception as like a welcome speech. So sometimes when people have got 4 or 5 speeches, I'll say, why don't you get your dad to do the proper welcome speech during the drink reception, and then the last thing they do is send everyone into dinner.
Yep, good. So use them as like master of ceremonies in kind of a way.
So yeah, that works when they're in the welcome bit. I still stand by the fact of no speeches in between every course.
Agree.
But on the rare occasion when I speak to a couple, sometimes I'll allow it.
So what's a big no-no for speeches? Speeches, do not do's.
Okay,
let's go.
Speeches, do not do's. Do not talk excessively about sex.
Yes.
It's awkward.
Agree.
Nobody likes it.
Vile.
I don't mind the odd joke.
No ex-girlfriends or boyfriends. Fucking hate that.
Yeah, but sometimes there's a really
No,
funny
not unless you
story.
fucking cheated on them for them, but like you did.
I didn't cheat.
Oh, what did you do?
It just wasn't appropriate, but I did not cheat.
There you go then, you're a
Yeah, but I
bitch.
met Brian.
You're
I
the
did
girl
nothing.
you're the girl that had the envelope, weren't you?
Yeah, it was me. No, I definitely did. But I was 18.
No,
it was
I
just not
think
cheating.
no ex-girlfriend chat. That
Yeah, but it
nah,
depends. It depends
no,
what it is. Depends what it is. Depends what it is.
Nada.
If it's funny enough, you have to ask. Basically, if you're thinking of putting an ex-girlfriend chat in it, you have to ask a girl and read them the bit. And if they don't think it's funny, then it's not. You can't have it.
Okay, fair.
You cannot talk for ages about a specific, very niche topic that nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about. Write it in a letter and give it to the person that you're talking about. Yep. If you want to do that. Don't all do thank yous. There's nothing worse than the bridesmaid being thanked six times.
You all look beautiful today.
Yeah, you look amazing. You scrub up.
Are there any like jokes that you're like, nah?
Yeah, but again, only because I've seen them 6 times, whereas the normal person's seen them 1.5 times.
Everyone's like, please say it, like, look how beautiful my wife.
Oh no,
looks.
I love that one.
Yay!
That's the moment. That's the moment. You have to do that.
I sounded so weird then.
You did.
I was meant to be like, way, not
way.
way.
To me, that is the start of a groom
The
has
haggling.
to say that. A groom has to do that for it to you to get the. And again, I've had to start a way before because it's clearly what they were trying to do. And no one got the
So
memo.
basically, you just need to book Georgie for your speeches
Basically.
because if you don't get the crowd.
I was trying to explain this to someone the other day that my main job is to stop any awkward moments. So when they don't start clapping and there's clearly a thing, I will start the clap. I don't mind, and I'll start the way. And
Have you ever clapped and no one started clapping?
No, because I clap pretty loud, and then everyone. I'll just keep going. I'll keep going until they join
till
me.
it's awkward for everyone else not to clap.
Yeah, same as counting down for a cake cutting. I'll start that. I don't mind.
Go on then. How'd you do it?
I just they'll be stood there, and everyone stood there looking, and I'll go 3, 2, and then everyone joins in, and then at least they've got a point to cut.
Oh, do you know what? I think that's an ick for me.
But what? You're just gonna stand there and then just randomly cut it and hope everyone knows what's happening?
That. It's like when people sing happy birthday to me, gives me the ick. Counting, I don't...
Tell me how else.
My whole body shivered just inside then. I don't know what it is. I am quite an awkward person.
You are quite an awkward person.
And that freaks me out.
I don't
3,
I
2,
don't disagree with
1.
you, but more awkward is to be stood there
I agree.
with nothing happening and you're like,
I just got
did
that.
we cut? And there's a photo of them going, did we cut? When do we cut? Okay, we cut. So
I
you
don't
need
know.
something. I normally get the best man to do it because then they'll say, right, everybody, let's give them cake curtains are awkward anyway, but if you're going to do them, you've got to do them with a countdown.
They just I'm just an awkward person, I suppose, aren't I?
You wouldn't do a cake cutting though.
No,
No,
hun.
no. I've had somebody bring out a chainsaw to cut the cake. That
Oh my
was
God, love
hilarious.
that.
He was a tree surgeon.
Oh, that makes sense. I like funny things like that though.
Me too.
Makes
I agree.
sense.
Would you feed someone cake? Like, would you want to eat the cake?
If Jack threw cake in my face or pushed it in my face after I just paid £50 for probably more than £50.
50?
120 quid for a full face of makeup.
Yeah, I'd
I
actually
would
be fuming.
furious because I'd be
Totally
like,
agree.
you can ring her and get her back because I've got evening pics to do.
I totally agree. Quick fire questions for you for speeches then.
Go on then.
Go on then. Go on.
Tell that annoying girl with the brown hair to stop shouting in the microphone. Sorry. That's me.
Music during speeches. Music, as you say, during speeches.
What do you mean during speeches?
Do you want to play it in the background? Do you want to
No.
ever do a song that you like and this is their song?
No, cringe.
Okay. No toast drinks.
No.
Well, you have to have toast drinks.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even say charge your wine glass.
No.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not. No, I could do
I'm
that.
not totally anti. Like,
no,
it's better
because
to have them.
if you've got like speeches like split,
You won't.
but if you did,
Yeah.
then I get it. Yeah, yeah. Okay, maybe I'm
On extreme cases.
on the fence on that one.
Okay.
Actually,
Napkins in the air. Woo, woo, woo.
that's not speeches.
Well, it could be. Could include it.
No, not for speeches.
Okay. And finally, what's the speech that everyone's listening for?
Best man.
Oh, don't you make them scared.
What?
What do you actually remember from our speeches? Because there's no way I don't even remember the whole speeches, but what do you remember from speeches?
My thank yous. Isla.
What? When we talked about Isla.
Talked about Isla.
Yeah.
You also, when you spoke about your parents and how you wished Isla could have what they had, your stories of how you met.
Yeah.
Don't really remember the best man speech, no shade.
His was very funny actually. He shaded Brian enough.
Yeah, about
Can't you remember
moving
he
in the
did-
flat and
He also did, because Brian was once the second best bartender in the UK, and he was like, and I think the first one is the dude behind the bar.
yeah.
And then everyone was like, wait, and made fun of his pin badges from TGI's.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I just knew they were all like good.
Yeah.
You know, like I wouldn't have gone away and be like, someone asked me like, how was the speech? I was like, yeah, they were all really good.
Yeah, I think you do just either think that was a good speech or they were boring.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest tip for good speeches is just the speed of the, like, they can't be too long. Nothing is entertaining.
Nothing
for
too
15
draining.
minutes.
Tell the full story. Like if you're like, oh, so Jude, who the fuck's Jude?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like you need to give
and then
it.
equally don't go off on a tangent.
Yeah. Jude, Brian's nan.
I have a question. How do we feel about like freestyling speeches?
No. That's stressful. Unless you're a good speaker.
Yeah, but you still think you got to have points.
Little pointers. Yeah, you need a structure to a speech. It's like an essay. I always say with like when I was helping Jack do his, it was like
your PE.
Yeah,
point
like
evidence explain.
Yeah, like otherwise it's just you go off and you're like, well, what's the point in that? Everything he said, I was like, what's the point in that?
Yeah.
And then until we got to a point of everything, I was like, there we go.
I have seen some very good speeches in my time, and some the best ones, but again, you've got to be a top-notch speaker, is when they've got the cue cards and then it's just got like two words just to help them know what bit they're talking about. Like if I was confident enough to do it, I would have just wrote dad and then a few things underneath, and it would have given me enough to do it. But you can still tell the ones that haven't written something down.
Yep.
And don't worry too much when you can't find the line. You know, when they're trying to read it, and like, I don't know where I am.
You can't, like, I would say don't have it written down. Just have pointers.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're like you said earlier when you were like, and the page turn.
Yeah.
Bride looked, just you can't be like that.
Agreed. Fine. Any last minute tips for speeches?
Enjoy it.
Yeah. I did not think about our speech on the day.
Did you prang about it? No.
Did we what?
Prang about it.
What's a prang?
Worry about it.
Oh. No.
Did Brian?
Did you worry about his speech?
Because some people
really.
stress. Like Jack didn't eat at his brother's wedding.
He was the best man.
And Jack loves to eat.
Yeah.
He was like, I couldn't relax the whole day until it was done.
I did not think about my speech until we walked in, sat down, and I was like, oh, like I literally hadn't thought about it. And because they were before the food, I didn't even get time to worry myself. So actually doing them from experience, doing them first really helped, because I was just like, oh, cool, right, okay, straight into it. No time to worry, no time to think about it.
But you could also have said, actually, I'm not going to do the speech.
You could, absolutely. Yeah.
You could back out of it if you really wanted to.
If somebody ever said to me on the day, and I've had brides say, I might do one, I might not, we'll allow the time for it. And then if you want to do it, great. If you don't, fine.
Cool.
I don't mind. Any more tips?
No, all good.
Right, let's have a bitches from a bride.
Bitches from a
Bitches from a
bride. Bitches from a bride. So, my partner's best man is one of his best friends.
Obviously.
This was amazing as I got on with his wife, and we've been
good.
great friends since.
Yeah.
She was so excited about our wedding and started to help organise my hen. All deposits paid, and she's completely changed her mind, never invited me out anymore, and says she won't be coming to the hen as she has no money. But her husband is the best man. What on earth do I do?
Do you know what? I've had something similar like this, not hen do wise, but I'm pretty sure somebody made me be their friend so that I do their baby shower and then doesn't speak to me anymore.
Who?
I can't say, but...
Was it the one that we did?
No.
Oh, that was Holly's.
I'm still friends with Holly. But I'm pretty sure that's what happened there. And I'm like, I think you just used me for the thing. But actually, that's the different.
But I do think it's awkward. Like, I'd want to be friends with everyone because I'd be like, I'm coming to your wedding.
I know.
After the wedding, I'll be like, see ya.
Bye. That is awkward. Is it a conversation thing? The problem is, girls be crazy.
But also, it stemmed from the husband's best man. So she's got a friendship with him, with her, because of
They're
that.
only friends.
So I feel like the boys need to sort that out. Maybe.
Boys aren't going to sort it out.
No.
I think maybe you just need to put a pin in that. Don't worry about it. She still comes to the wedding. You're not going to notice that she's there. Like, sit her cleverly with her back to you. Like, there's loads of ways of doing it where you can still... I think the amount of drama that you cause by not inviting somebody and then falling out with the best man because obviously his partner's not coming and rah, you might as well just have them there in the fucking corner. You know what I mean? And just don't ask about the hen do. Don't bring up all that drama for no reason. Should we do tip jar?
Yeah.
Go on then. I think it's here. Are you doing it?
Yeah.
Go on.
Seating plan.
Just before this started filming, Brian said, you got to be quick on this one. This is not a quick one, but we can do some main bits and maybe we do a whole episode on it.
Yep. 8 people per table if you've got charger plates. Do not do any more because you will not fit them on unless you've got a 6-foot+ table.
Okay, let's do this. Tip. Okay, my tip is you are sat down for 2 hours. It is not the entire wedding day. Make a fucking choice. Pick a table. Sit them down.
Long tables don't mean that it's not sociable compared to round. They're both as sociable as each other. That myth has got to go.
Agreed. I had square.
Yep.
So there's options for everything. Think about the placement of the table before you start numbering the tables. So you would assume that on table, let's ignore top table 1 will then be the nearest family, but actually in the room, table 1 would be the far left, whatever one. So then you end up on the day with tables, top table, and then 1, 4, 6, 3, and it's all over the place. So you have to number them after.
Think about how to style your table plan. Make it look cool.
Nice. Kids should either be on their own table or have their backs to you so you can't hear them.
Think about high chairs and where you're going to put them. Are they having a place setting? Are they on the table plan? Are they not?
Nobody notices if one table's got 7 on and one's got 9 on.
Literally, nobody
cares. So if you're trying to make it all even, it's not going to happen.
High centerpieces don't actually mean that you can't see guests around. Like medium centerpieces as well can damage that. So if you're bothered about it, go for the ones that are see-through or keep it super low.
Don't overthink top table. If you 2 want to be on your own, do a sweetheart table. If you don't want all parents, you don't have to do that. Do whatever feels comfortable to you.
And that's a wrap.
Go with it. Your day, your way.
You do you, hun.
Thank you so much for listening to the episode. Honestly, we really, really appreciate everybody that comes back every week. We do need some favours though.
If you have YouTube, please can you go subscribe to the Unfiltered Bride channel? That lets Brian know that you are enjoying what we're doing and what we're producing.
And you can see us.
Yeah.
You can actually watch our faces. There's 2 cameras, like the full setup is here. Subscribe on all the Spotify. If you can leave us reviews, we'd be eternally grateful. And obviously share on your social media. We'd love to see where you're listening because we just like being nosy about your day.
For sure. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.